What's good, 99 Dream family? We back at it, episode 41 of the 99 Dream Journey. My name is Julian Taliaferro. You already know we coming again with another weekly business update, lessons for the week, and topic for the day, which is rewiring. And I'm going to begin with the quote for this week, which is, there are the known knowns, the known unknowns, and then the unknown unknowns. And this is a quote from Steve Armin, and I'm going to just let it sit. I don't think I have to say anything for it, but again, the quote is, there are the known knowns, the known unknowns, and then the unknown unknowns, from Steve Armin. And now I can get into my business update, which is going to be pretty short, but I've been able to start catching up again on the program and been able to start dedicating time back to working on my startup and getting focused again. So that's great. And then also, I made the list of marketplaces for me to list my product on, and I'm gonna just do that this week. But then, honestly, I was thinking about it, and I'm gonna just put the product up, on these sites. And if that doesn't work, I'm probably just gonna get rid of it, and I'm gonna chalk it up as, let's say, my first lesson when it comes to business. And that way I can just start dedicating more time on the startup, which is more important to me. So with that out the way, I can now get into my lessons for the week, and I have 3 of them. So the first one is that there's no shortcut for experience. And this is one of those things where you can't just press a button and get 5 years of experience, 10 years of experience, of life experience, or even just industry experience. That's something that will only come in time, and you have to be patient for. And there's no shortcut for it, right? So all you can do is just try to put yourself in situations where you can gain this experience. My second lesson is, one change can have a revolutionary appeal. So a lot of times I think, that, personally, sometimes when I think of making something different, you have to think of it being different in 5 different ways, or, have a multitude of differences. But a lot of times all it really has to be is one change, and that can give it a revolutionary appeal. That one change just has to be significant enough for it to be perceived as a different offering, right? Or to give it a different experience in the totality. But it can only be one thing, right? So you just have to figure out what that one thing is, and it can give it that revolutionary appeal. So that's the second lesson. And then the third lesson is that you can always bounce back. And this is a lesson for me because I just had a meeting, just a few minutes ago, and honestly, I didn't like how the meeting went, and I think that's on me. And personally, it's just me realizing that I can bounce back from this, right? I can bounce back from this meeting, from this performance, right? I can do better in my next meetings, right? I just gotta come in a little bit more ready, and yeah, that's it. So those are my 3 lessons for the week. Again, to recap, the first one is that there's no shortcut for experience. The second one is that one change can have a revolutionary appeal. And then the third one is that you can always bounce back. So now I can get into my topic for the episode, which is rewiring. And I came to this topic when I was listening to a podcast, and it was saying how if we want to change, then we have to rewire our mind. So try to visualize that. Try to visualize a port that has thousands of connections with thousands of wires that are inputs for this port, right? Imagine that, and then imagine having to rearrange that and rewire that, trying to put all the 1,000 input wires into different ports. It takes time, right? And even sometimes when we want to change the rewiring, our mind will sometimes try to go back to the original programming, right? To the old programming. But, that's something that we don't want to happen, right? Because you're going to have to redo your work again. But that'll happen when the new connections aren't strong enough. So I think this goes into your habits, this goes into your personality, your mood, your productivity, your energy, and more. I think that this can all be reprogrammed. This can all be rewired. You just have to be repetitive and consistent with the work. And you have to be consistent with the new programming, right? So it gets to a point where your new programming, your new connections are strong enough to where you won't revert back to the old form again. So this podcast is saying that, say you want to remove something like a bad habit. It isn't enough just to remove that bad habit, you have to replace it with something good. So thinking about it, visualizing it again as, let's say, a port that has a connection. You can't just take out a wire from the port, right? Because there's going to be no more input. You have to get a whole new wire and put that into the old input. And from there, the system will be at equilibrium again, right? And it'll be, at peace, to say. So I think that's something that we need to think about when it comes to rewiring, and that is all in our capability to do, right? We have something that's called the brain, which is one of the most mysterious, intricate, dynamic systems that we have in our body, and it has the ability to perform amazing feats. So we just have to allow it to do it. So I think it's just one of those things where we have to think about, what do we want to rewire in our lives? When it comes to entrepreneurship, what do I want to rewire in my work, right? How do I become a better entrepreneur, and how do I reprogram myself to become that? So again, that's the topic of rewiring. Now I can get into my next steps, which are just to put my product up on these sites, and then just continue work on my startup, and keep building and keep building. So that's it for this episode. So, all right, let's get it, y'all. Go and achieve y'all 99 dream. And it's 99 dream because you are going to achieve your dream. And it would be 100%, but nothing is perfect. So you're going to achieve 99% of that. And let's go and let's get it.